Hello YouTube and welcome back to The Zone, where today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be exhibiting the fourth part of Chris Chan's quote-unquote greatest moments, with him proudly proclaiming that he is straight. Right, let's see how long it takes for him to, screw this up. I Am Straight, officially IAMSTRAIGHT for both videos, is a series of videos in which Chris attempts to set the record straight about his sexuality once and for all. His first video is literally 2 sentences long, warning everyone to remember his straightness. He holds up a relatively tame picture of Britney Spears, apparently thinking that owning magazines with sexy photos of them is proof of his heterosexuality. Chris follows this up with a 10-minute dissertation on how he deeply loves, respects, and understands women. No, he doesn't. Insisting also that he wants to have sex with them. Of course that's the fucking thing he would have to say. Okay. He also seems to assume that heterosexuality demands more than a superficial physical attraction to women to be credible. In his attempt to laud the qualities of women, Chris ascribes to them numerous qualities, including having superior power, agility, and coping skills than men. Also, boobies and shiners. Chris did these videos in a failed attempt to appease Clycash to have his website restored. So let's see his attempt to, prove his point. Let's see how well Chris can do this.
I, Chris Chandler, am straight. Don't you forget it.
What did he say again, guys? I kind of forgot. So apparently Chris that just fucking... Oh, look at that. CM Punk's hometown entrance, nearly 10 million views. Maybe we should... Can we watch that instead, or Randy Orton destroying legends? The good times. And this is the literal transcript. I, Christian Chandler, and straight, holds up Britney Spears poster, don't you forget it. And here is part 2. And I think this is the 10 minutes.
You know who I am.
This is going to be...
You know who...
10 minutes in length, and I think it's 10 minutes longer than anybody demanded it be. So let's see Chris saying in very long words that he is straight. I keep pressing pause and that fucking thing keeps coming up.
You know who I am. But I have randomly decided to make this video because I am sick of all the false accusations and rumors and slanders that have been going around on the internet against me. So I tell you.
Question. Or Chris, the only thing you had to say was that no, you are not gay, you are straight. That's it. You do not need to say anything more than that. And also, who cares what other people think of you? It's not their business to know.
I tell you for sure and for true that I am straight. I can tell you why from my lifetime stories, but I'll tell it to you in just a few short minutes.
Oh boy.
Anyway, most of my friends in my life have been female. I've had only few male acquaintances, and they definitely turn me off, the majority of them, because they are rude, crude, and inconsiderate, causing wars and such.
Causing wars and such. Chris, I've said this before, and I don't particularly think it's a particularly nice thing to say, but Chris is completely fucking insane for saying something that does not reflect reality.
But women are so kind and sweet, and you don't have to look at any of them in bikinis or in a nude to fail to see the beauty in each and every wonderful woman. But inside that beauty, they all have caring qualities. The majority of them. Between them.
Wait, hang on a minute. So, can women have some bigger qualities than others, or is that how he puts it?
And me and the majority of the world, we all just want to be understood. And I understand the ladies. I understand the women. But I do not need...
If you really feel as if Christian understands women, please, give me a type Y in the comments if you genuinely thinks that he knows what he's talking about. Also, if you think he has absolutely no frigging clue what he's talking about, dislike this video if you choose. I generally want to find out how many likes to dislikes this gets. So it's Y for yes he does, and dislike for no. Go.
Need to stoop down to the level of where my hormones would go out of rage, to appreciate them as being my friends and my gal pals, even as low as acquaintances, because I can only have one true sweetheart. But anyway, get over to the women. You can definitely see the sheer brilliance of their delightful personalities between each and every one of them.
You mean the delightful personalities between their legs, I think Chris is also trying to say. You know, Chris is not really good at this whole chivalrous thing, is he? I mean... Well, no, actually, no. The chivalrous thing to do is to realise that this is a terrible idea and to have stopped while you were ahead. Unfortunately, this just does not seem to... Oh, what's the point in that? I'm stating the obvious again, has absolutely no impact on Chris.
Yet some of them can turn and be very distraught, but we have to learn to abide by them and just let it pass. Even if it doesn't pass, we still love them, because at one point before they did a 180 in that sense, they were still caring, and they can be still caring.
They can still be. You know what, guys? I would have loved to have found out what had actually happened if Chris was not born in 1982, and he was actually born in 1942, and he was growing up during the civil rights movements throughout the United States. I genuinely would have loved to have found out what his 2 cents would have been on the civil rights movements, or even if the news got out to him about him discovering who Rosa Parks was. I generally would have loved to have, because I'm pretty sure it would have been similar to this, because this seems like, again, one of those types of videos where Chris has done next to no research whatever, and I've done the same myself, but those were for a very particular purpose. Unfortunately for Chris, again, he has almost no context or anything whatsoever for women. Also the fact that he doesn't seem to understand that, you know, drawing yourself sexually defiling somebody and then stating that you might have possibly have sexually assaulted somebody in real life is not really... You're not really a great candidate for saying that you understand women.
And just because they act in a harsh nature, even when they should be calm and peaceful.
Even when they should be calm and peaceful. Okay, so now Chris is telling women how to act and behave. Now again, I'm not going to be overly critical about that, but I'm pretty sure there could have been other slightly more cynical people who would have said the same thing. Because just if he takes some of the things he takes at face value, there are plenty of other people who could take what he's saying at face value as well.
They still care about the men in their lives, and especially the children that she and her husband put together, like I would be putting together with my sweetheart, my sweet panda. Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down.
But I assure you that I am straight. Because, you know, I appreciate the women, all the women, for their personalities purely.
You mean apart from the people that Chris specifically excluded on his love poster? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, Chris.
But any man would be crazy or even ignorant to not even notice the outer beauty in addition to their inner beauty. But I appreciate the inner beauty more than the outer beauty. But yet I am attracted to the outer beauty as well, as the majority of my gender should be able to appreciate.
Okay, so this brings up my next point, is that why can't, men appreciate the beauty and, the outer and inner beauty of other men? Why can't, men not think that way, Chris? Why is he so hung up, no pun intended, about women when you know what? There are plenty of other people out there in this world that have other... Whatever, let's just continue. It sounds like he's just going around in circles, and we're not even halfway into this.
And Playboy has been able to help us in that sense to better relate.
No, it has not. If anything, Playboy has done the complete opposite of this by polarizing, the idea that, women will like if you do this, that, and the other.
And further our appreciation for the female species. The females, the women, the beautiful ladies.
Did he just shit himself or...
But I digress with holding a Playboy, because I do not need to hold a Playboy to further...
He does not need to hold a Playboy even though he just did.
...prove that I am straight. Because I am educated throughout my whole lifetime and the classes I have taken between sex ed and high school and real life experiences and my ins and outs in my sweetheart search in the past, the long past. Even though I was thwarted by one female, I will not hold the grudge against her. Because I'm sure that she is sweet to others, especially to the men.
I don't know whether he's meant to be talking about Megan or Blanca, but, okay.
That are actually closer to her in her life than I have ever was or ever capable of being. I still will not hold the grudge against her. Yet I will...
Okay, that's got to be Megan he's talking about. Also, there were very good reasons why Megan would hold against you, Chris. But again, I'm only going to rely on you for not realizing why, because in your eyes, she had no reason.
So, yet I have drawn previous times moments of rage and anger against, but expressing the anger in the sense of drawing, in the sense of art, but not to put it into gory details, but making it acceptable for even the to make it applicable to be TVY7 of that rating. That is not total rage, because that is rage, negative rage being put into positive. I put most of my rage into positive.
So apparently he considers, drawing himself, defiling one of his friends, positive rage. I'm glad he brought up the thing about TVY7 right now, because listen, if I didn't know better, I would say that would have been the point where he cannot tell the difference between what is fictional and what is real life, and the fact that life has, quote-unquote, a rating behind it. Real life does not have a rating. It is not rated M for mature. It is not rated PG-13. It's not rated R, and it's not rated A for adults. Life has no rating because anything and everything happens in life. That's why it doesn't need a rating. It can be... Some things could be pure innocent. Some things could be so far in the other direction that there is no ways of describing them accurately. It's the same thing I fear when, people saying that they disregard history and all that by saying that, because of the details they have to go into, it will demonetize their videos, when you can't really do that regard of history. You can't deny what has happened because it was violent. If we were like that, then we would absolutely learn or have no knowledge of history whatever. And if anything, we'd be making more violent mistakes right now. So...
outgoing outcomes, positive drawings, positive inspirations, because I care about the women. And not just the women that I have drawn and care about personally, but every woman that I am only acquainted with or do not know personally or even just total strangers to me. I still care about the women. And I even go as far.
again, like I said, he cares about the women. But imagine if he was to say it again in the context of the civil rights. You could literally say, I care about the black people, or I care about the fact, you get what I'm trying to say here. It comes across that this is just interchangeable. Like, he could read this from a source that says to how to make speeches.
As to stoop to one low level. Boobies. Vaginas. I
think he just shot himself again.
Gorgeous.
He says gorgeous without an inkling of emotion. Again, this also brings into question whether or not he is actually being serious about all this. Now, the big problem as to why he could be showing that he doesn't look that serious is because he's doing this literally at the spur of the moment, and he had no research, and because he has no script either to go off, he's literally just going into tangents about things that do not matter or make sense.
Very gorgeous. I'm straight. I love the women outside and inside.
Yeah, okay, Chris.
And
said that
that should be enough to prove that I am straight. To everyone, even those who dare say otherwise. And those who dare say otherwise, well, I can only say that y'all be damned. But I would not hold it against you, because that is your opinion. And even though it is a whole bunch of lies, and it cannot be easily determined whether the originator is male or female, I will not hold those opinions against anybody, because I care. And I care more about the women. But
if anybody knows anything about where Chris is going to go start talking about in a couple of years' time, you will call the biggest pile of BS on saying that he cares.
But I will associate and cope with in a okay light with those of my own gender, but I will show more affection and appreciation and care for the women.
Why not treat both of them equally, Chris? Why is that out of the question?
The women, because they are truly the delightful, the more powerful, the more agile, the more capable of coping with stresses in the lives in and around us all. Even the stereotypes, they will express their anger against it.
Even the stereotypes Chris would probably believe without verbatim. Guys, listen. I'm probably going to cover this maybe in a separate video entirely, because it's not particularly relevant to this. But I can tell you right now that I do not believe there is such a thing as a stereotype. And I'll explain why in a separate video. So if you at all want to hear about my opinions about that, then feel free to let me know.
But that is because they care about themselves, and they want us to appreciate them individually for who they are. But I digress. I am straight because I care about the women individually. I appreciate their humble opinions, and as well as their outer beauty and their inner beauty. And to every one of them, I offer a hug. You don't have to get in person, because you can easily get that from those that are very close to you. Right, so Christian Weston Chandler, I am straight. Peace.
Christ almighty, I feel like I've just like lost nearly 76 brain cells because of that. And that's the transcript, blah 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 blah, and that's it. So okay guys, that's literally gonna conclude it. Chris goes, you know what, actually I'll tell you what, I've got a better idea. I think it says something about just the fact that how little Chris actually does understand about women, that he's just going to say this stuff on the top of his head. And listen, I don't have a problem with Chris saying that he respects women, but it's entirely a different matter when he makes drawings like "She Came for CWC," and also, now that's one thing that would turn women away, but it's another when Chris would later make disparaging remarks against men and homosexual men, black people, people who have autism, people who are overweight, people who are seriously disfigured. It's a different thing. Women are anyone would be put off by some of the things what Chris has said and done, and it feels more like wishful thinking that Chris, for any which reason, would say that he cares that much when he has little respect for anyone else. Now, just before we go, I feel as if like I'm gonna actually do you guys a favor. I'm gonna play out a song, just to give you guys a little bit of something. It's more or less the generalization of what Chris has actually done. So, here it is. So I'll leave you guys with this, and I'll see all of you guys again in the next video, where hopefully it will get a little bit more likes than this one. So I'll leave you all with this. Take care, and bye-bye for now.
Shock, horror, shock, horror. I'll shout myself